Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Saturday. We got 15 matchups on this MLB slate today, so super loaded slate. So be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my links in the description below. If you guys like betting on MLB player props, go ahead and get in on the action below and sign up with Parlay Play. Get free entries just for signing up. Get some nice wins, a lot of action today, a lot of potential to win a lot of money. And yeah, we'll hop in it. Super loaded slate. Every team's playing for the most part. And yeah. First matchup, we have the Baltimore Orioles versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay opening up as home favorites at minus 230. Baltimore plus 205 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Orioles is Jordan Lyles. Finished last season 10-13 with an ERA of 5.15. Had 146 strikeouts. Pitching for the Rays is Drew Rasmussen. Was 4-1 last season with an ERA of 2.84. He had 73 strikeouts. Tampa coming off the 2-1 win over Baltimore yesterday. Very close game. Not much runs. Hopefully there's a lot more action here today. Baltimore 0-10 against Tampa. 0-7 on the road against Tampa. Tampa 7-0 at home against Baltimore here. The under. Both these teams, the unders hit at 11 out of Tampa Bay's last 16 games. You know, the under definitely hit pretty big yesterday. We'll see if the same holds again today. I'm hoping definitely for some more runs to make this an interesting matchup. But hard to trust the Orioles on the road, and they just haven't been able to beat Tampa. They were close yesterday, but not going to trust them here. Taking the Rays at home. Next matchup, we have the Chicago White Sox versus the Detroit Tigers. The White Sox opening up as road favorites at minus 150. Detroit plus 130 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the White Sox is Dylan Cease. Last season was 13-7 with an ERA of 3.91. Had 226 strikeouts. Pitching for the Tigers is Casey Mize. Finished last season 7-9 with an ERA of 3.71. Had 118 strikeouts. White Sox kind of blowing that game yesterday, losing 5-4. A game they were up 3-0 most of the game, and they kind of blew it in the end. The White Sox 3-6 against Detroit, 1-5 on the road against Detroit. The overs hit in 4 out of their last 5 games for the White Sox. Another 8.5. The under is kind of appealing here. I gotta lean with the White Sox here. Detroit, they really fought so hard to get that win yesterday. Gonna be hard to trust Detroit back-to-back days to pull off the upset win. Not in love with it. I like Chicago coming off the loss. I like Chicago to get it done on the road. Next matchup, we have the Seattle Mariners versus the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota opening up as home favorites at minus 135. Seattle plus 125 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Mariners is Logan Gilbert with an ERA of, he was 6-5 last season with an ERA of 4.68. Had 128 strikeouts. Pitching for the Twins is Sonny Gray with was 7-9 last season with an ERA of 4.19. He had 155 strikeouts. These teams did just play yesterday. Seattle winning that matchup 2-1. Actually looked pretty good here. A low scoring game. The unders hit in Seattle's 4 out of their last 6 games, so the unders kind of looking appealing as well. Seattle 8-1 on the road, 5-1 against Minnesota. They've been good against the Twins here. Yeah, I just didn't see enough yesterday to go ahead and lay minus 135 on Minnesota here. No real pitching advantage. Give me Seattle plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals opening up as home favorites at minus 170. The Pirates plus 155 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Pirates is Mitch Keller. Was 5-11 last season with an ERA of 6.17. He had 92 strikeouts. Pitching for the Cardinals is Miles Mikolas. He was 2-3 last season with an ERA of 4.23. He had 31 strikeouts. Cardinals. These teams played 2 days ago. St. Louis winning 9-0. Pittsburgh's going to be very bad this season. Going to be a long ride for them. You're going to have to pick and choose when you want when you like them as an upset, because they're probably going to be pretty big plus money a lot this season, majority of the season. St. Louis 9-3 at home. Pittsburgh 1-5 on the road. Nothing I saw in that first performance of not even scoring a run would give me any confidence to take Pittsburgh here. Give me the Cardinals at home. Next matchup, we have the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Chicago Cubs. Brewers opening up as road favorites at minus 162. Chicago plus 138 with the over-under at 7.5. Pitching for the Brewers is Brandon Woodruff. Was 9-10 last season with an ERA of 2.56. He had 211 strikeouts. Pitching for the Cubs is Justin Steele with an ERA of 4.26. He had 59 strikeouts. Yeah, that game got postponed yesterday, so both teams coming off a rest. Milwaukee losing that first matchup 5-4 on opening day. Milwaukee 11-2 against Chicago. Literally, they've been dominant against Chicago except for that opening day loss. 6-1 on the road against the Cubs. Cubs 1-9 at home. They've struggled at home here. I like Brewers. This was the original pitching matchup for yesterday's game. I was going to take the Brewers yesterday. Taking them again here. I like Brandon Woodruff on the mound. Going to take the Brewers on the road. Next matchup, we have the Texas Rangers versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto opening up as home favorites at minus 185. Texas plus 165 with the over-under at 9. Pitching for the Rangers is Dane Dunning. Was 5-10 last season with an ERA of 4.51. He had 114 strikeouts. And then making his debut for the Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman finished last season 14-6 with an ERA of 2.81. He had 227 strikeouts. Yeah, Kevin Gausman, a huge addition to the squad here. Excited to see his debut. He was dominant the last few years. What a game yesterday. Hopefully you guys bet on Toronto. I got Toronto plus 4.5 when they were down 7-0 and they came back and win. I wish I would have took them on the money line, but what a Toronto game. And Vladdy hitting home runs. I mean, you know what he does. Tough loss for the Rangers. They kind of controlled that game, gave up the lead, but Toronto fought back here. I don't think Toronto's going to get down 7-0 again here. I think they have a much better showing in this matchup. 5-1 at home. I think the over is a good play as well. It's going to be tough. I like Gausman on the mound. Huge pitching advantage. Rolling with the Blue Jays at home. Next matchup, we have the Boston Red Sox versus the New York Yankees. The Yankees opening up as home favorites at minus 175. Boston plus 145 with the over-under at 9. Pitching for the Red Sox is Nick Pivetta. Was 9-8 last season with an ERA of 4.53. He had 175 strikeouts. Pitching for the Yankees is Luis Severino. He's 1-0. Didn't really pitch last season. Has 8 strikeouts. Going to be interesting to see Severino here on the mound. What a game yesterday. That game going to overtime. Yankees winning that matchup 6-5. Won Boston, kind of controlled early on, and then they fought back to take the lead. Boston 0-6 on the road against the Yankees. 1-7 against the Yankees. They've struggled against the Yankees here, but they got a nice run line cover yesterday. You could really go either way here. Boston could have easily won that game yesterday, and I think again I like the Red Sox plus 1.5 on the road. They covered yesterday, could have won it. I'm not in love with Severino on the mound. We're gonna see what he's made of. Nick Pivetta, solid pitcher. We know what he's about. I'm gonna take Red Sox plus 1.5 on the road. All right, next matchup, we have the Miami Marlins versus the San Francisco Giants. Giants opening up as home favorites at -140. Miami plus 130 with the over-under at 7.5. Pitching for the Marlins is Pablo Lopez. Was 5-5 last season with an ERA of 3.07. He had 115 strikeouts. Pitching for the Giants is Carlos Rodon. Finished last season 13-5 with an ERA of 2.37. He had 185 strikeouts. Yeah, Rodon was going to make his debut. Good pickup for the Giants here. Giants winning yesterday's matchup 6-5. It was a pretty close game, but Giants able to take control. Miami 1-5 on the road against San Fran. San Fran 7-3 at home. They've played good. Miami kept it close, and if you pick them on the run line, you got a nice cover. But I love Carlos Rodon on the mound. Been pretty dominant last season, and big pitching advantage I think here. I'm taking the Giants at home. Next matchup, we have the Oakland Athletics versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies opening up as home favorites at -200. Oakland plus 170 with the over-under at 9.5. Pitching for Oakland is Cole Irvin. Finished last season 10-15 with an ERA of 4.24. Had 125 strikeouts. Pitching for the Phillies is Kyle Gibson. Finished last season 10-9 with an ERA of 3.71. Had 155 strikeouts. Philly winning yesterday's matchup 9-5. Pretty controlling win for the Phillies. Oakland 1-6 on the road. The overs hit in 4 out of their last 5 games here. Phillies 6-1 at home. I just don't see enough for me to take Oakland here. Philly controlled that game yesterday. I do like Kyle Gibson on the mound here. I'm going to take the Phillies again at home. Next matchup, we have the Cleveland Guardians versus the Kansas City Royals. The Royals opening up as home favorites at -125. Cleveland plus 105 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for Cleveland is Zach Plesac. Finished last season 10-6 with an ERA of 4.67. He had 100 strikeouts. Pitching for the Royals is Brad Keller. Was 8-12 with an ERA of 5.39. Had 120 strikeouts. Royals did win yesterday's matchup 3-1. Looked pretty good in their season opener. Cleveland 10-3 on the road against Kansas City. 14-5 against Kansas City. They've been really good against the Royals. Not in love with this matchup here. Not in love with either pitcher here. Both pitchers have given up a good bit of runs. I think there's pretty okay value with the Guardians. I'm going to take Cleveland plus 1.5. I mean, it was 3-1 last game. I think there's going to be a lot of hits here with both pitchers giving up a lot of runs. I like Cleveland plus 1.5 and the over. I think the over could hit this game as well. Next matchup, we have the New York Mets versus the Washington Nationals. The Mets opening up as road favorites at -164. Washington plus 138 with the over-under at 9.5. Pitching for the Mets is Chris Bassett with an ERA, or is 12-4 last season with an ERA of 3.15. had 159 strikeouts. Joan Adon has an ERA of 3.38 with 9 strikeouts, so pretty minimal action for Adon. The Mets coming off 2 wins over Washington, winning 7-3 and 5-1. They've looked great in this series here. Washington hasn't looked that good. They've definitely looked pretty sluggish to start the season. Mets 5-2 on the road against Washington here. Washington 0-5 at home. Yeah, I just haven't seen enough to make me take the Nationals here. Mets playing good. I think they're going to be really good this season. I like the Mets on the road. Next matchup, we have the Cincinnati Reds versus the Atlanta Braves. Braves opening up as home favorites at -160. Cincinnati +150 with the over-under at 10. Pitching for the Reds is Vladimir Gutierrez. Was 9-6 last season with an ERA of 4.74. He had 88 strikeouts. Pitching for the Braves is Kyle Wright. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 9.95. He had 6 strikeouts last season. The Braves coming off a 7-6 win yesterday. Both teams splitting a win in this series so far. Cincinnati scoring 6 runs in both those matchups. The overs hit in 4 out of the last 5 games. Atlanta is 10-2 at home. I just don't trust Kyle Wright. In his starts last year, he just gave up a lot of runs in his limited starts here. Cincinnati able to cover on the run line both matchups here. I like Cincinnati +1.5 again. Do what you want with that money line, but I just don't trust Kyle Wright at home. I'm going to take Cincinnati +1.5 again on the road. Next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Colorado Rockies. Dodgers opening up as road favorites at -150. The Rockies +140 with the over/under at 11.5. Pitching for the Dodgers is Tony Gonsolin with an ERA of 3.23. He had 65 strikeouts. Pitching for the Rockies is Yerman Marquez. Was 12-11 with an ERA of 4.40. He had 176 strikeouts. Dodgers winning yesterday's matchup 5-3. Dodgers look pretty good. Dodgers 14-5 against Colorado, 8-2 against Colorado on the road. Colorado just 2-8 at home against the Dodgers. Colorado looked decent yesterday. They didn't look horrible. It's going to be a long season. I just don't trust the Rockies here. Dodgers just too loaded. Give me Dodgers again on the road. Next matchup, we have the San Diego Padres versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres opening up as road favorites at -165. Arizona +140 with the over/under at 9.5. Pitching for the Padres is Joe Musgrove. Finished last season 11-9 with an ERA of 3.18. He had 203 strikeouts. Pitching for Arizona is Zach Davies. He was 6-12 last season with an ERA of 5.78. He had 114 strikeouts. Padres winning yesterday's matchup 3-0. Arizona winning that first matchup 4-2. Of course, I take Arizona to cover on the run line yesterday, and they don't even score a run. That's what I get for taking Arizona. We kind of know what this matchup is. Padres, we're going to see what the Padres look like, man. Definitely a big pitching advantage here. Joe Musgrove, really good last season. Arizona 5-12 at home. I'm sticking with the Padres on the road here. Definitely a pitching advantage here. And hopefully the Padres can build off that nice 3-0 win yesterday. And then the last matchup, we have the Houston Astros versus the Los Angeles Angels. Houston opening up as road favorites at -122. The Angels +112 with the over/under at 8.5. Pitching for the Astros is Justin Verlander. Was 1-0 last season with an ERA of 3.0. He had 7 strikeouts. Pitching for the Angels is Noah Syndergaard. He was 0-1 last season with an ERA of 9.0. He had 2 strikes. Houston, underdogs in the first 2 matchups, winning both games as underdogs. If you guys took the Astros, plus 1.5 on both games, that was easy cash and money line. Coming off a 13-6 win over the Angels, I just have no idea why the Angels have been the favorite the first 2 games. I do not get it. Houston's clearly the better team here. 5-2 on the road, 6-1 against the Angels. Angels 2-12 at home. I just haven't seen enough to make me take the Angels, even as an underdog. Houston just playing good in this series so far. Hopefully they don't blow Game 3 here. But rolling with the Astros here. They've looked really good so far. Haven't seen enough for me to take the Angels. Give me the Astros on the road. And that's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Saturday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.